Pramtanovich. Oh, hi there. I didn't see you. Guess who's back in
What's
town?
up?
How's life going, man?
Great, awesome.
Perfect, dude. The last time you came here, my net worth like skyrocketed. No joke, no joke, no joke. And I'm super happy that you're here again. Guess why? Because I'm gonna skyrocket even more, dude. We have some amazing content lined up for all of you guys watching, and we are gonna get right into it. Firstly, blockchain. Since 2021 or 2020 even, we've been repeatedly hearing this word called blockchain, right? 100%, right? And it's related to cryptocurrency, but a lot of people don't know a lot about it. So can you please illuminate us about what exactly is blockchain? Because I know that you're an investor in cryptocurrency, and anyone who's watched the podcast knows that you're really, really involved in cryptocurrency and this stuff. So what's up, man?
So for sure, yeah, I mean blockchain, we've all heard it, but the only thing about blockchain we've heard is crypto, right?
Yeah.
But we don't know so many other elements about blockchain.
Okay.
So basically blockchain is a type of technology. I don't want to bore you by getting into the nitty-gritty details about it. It's
Sure.
very boring. But so one use case of blockchain is crypto, right? But there are so many other use cases that we're going to see, or we're starting to see.
Interesting.
So like there's so many new things. Like I'm not sure if you guys have heard of farming and staking and like these
Farming using
yeah.
blockchain?
So yeah, this is very interesting type of technology where you basically kind of like stake your coins and then they give you like a return on it, and you basically use those coins to make more coins. It's quite interesting.
Wow.
It's quite of a I'm not sure if it's too trustworthy right now, but let's see where it goes in the future, right?
Okay.
So I mean like crypto right now, I don't know if where it's gonna go.
I think in the last episode we talked about it. I don't think Crypto and Krish are having a very good day.
Yeah, so
Even though they're both Kra and Kra, let's not go there, man.
yeah, I mean, for any investor to start, I would not recommend crypto as a starting point. But I mean, it's the future of technology and like finance, right? So we gotta see like what's going on and see if it's even gonna have any effect. Like, cause like so many of the orthodox investors like they hate crypto. And the whole concept about like Web3 and all that stuff.
Could you talk about how crypto works, so how it works using blockchain?
Yeah,
Because we
what
do know
is-
that blockchain basically removes a middleman from our transactions, right?
Yeah.
But how does that exactly work?
Yeah,
and
what is
why
blo-
is it so important for the future?
Yeah, and also you can also kind of link this up to governments. So why is blockchain why is it becoming such a big thing like decentralization? So
Yeah, so it like you said, decentralization. That's the whole point, because all of our financial like fiat, like dollar and baht and whatever, is controlled by the government.
Yeah.
This is taking the power in back into the people. So what it basically does is like each computer that is like a node, and then they form like a kind of like a network.
Yeah.
And that's basically what like essentially blockchain is. So it's taking the system away from the government, and each like computer has like a ledger, so like it records all the transactions on that. I mean, it's quite confusing to understand at first, but like it's basically the government's not controlling it, the computers are.
Interesting. Could you touch a little bit more upon that middleman thing and how it removes the middleman?
So because there's no government setting like the interest rate, there's no government setting like the what the fiscal money supply is going to be, right? It basically that is not done anymore. It's all automated and done through blockchain. So there's no one meddling around with the ledger, the transaction.
Isn't that sort of like how capitalism was sort of like, this is like the basic capitalist idea where like government doesn't have that much influence towards the currency and how sort of the economy runs. And
I mean,
would say
if you do want to take that political view.
So I would say the this kind of can get a little bit controversial, but let's say the government's like the dollar and everything, right? You've seen like the Fed and all, they have its control. It's a separate entity from the government, meaning a private company owns it, which is kind of scary, right? Because it's not a
like,
government thing.
We're giving them too much power, yeah.
Like when they're hiking up the interest rates and there's all sorts of stuff that they do.
I mean, interest rates controlled by another part, but
Well, I thought the feds hike up the interest.
the feds do. So I mean, it is a separate part of the government, which is kind of scary. So blockchain is kind of giving the power back to the people, basically. So I mean, a lot of people say that like fiat and dollar and all, like they it's more capitalist, but I mean, crypto is like kind of like more of a social kind of concept.
Alright, so now Krish, you've talked a lot about this blockchain and all that field. So I think something that we've also have divulged from this is NFTs.
Okay.
What is an NFT? Why is a photo of an ape worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Why are my friends getting rich off sending a photo of their toes?
So, yeah, NFTs, right? I mean, they're very interesting kind of thing that, like, I mean, 2021, we all heard about it, but now, like, no one's talking about it.
Yeah.
So, what kind of happens, basically, it's called a non-fungible token, but basically is a type of crypto which is unique. There's only one of. So, basically, you have one of one. But the concept of what determines the scarcity of it, like, because the fundamental economic stuff is like, okay, if scarcity determines the value of money, right?
Yeah.
But since there's only one of this and it's a particular drawing, it's actually kind of hard to determine what value this NFT will have.
Yeah.
So it runs off blockchain. It uses Ethereum to run, like OpenSea and all. But right now, I think it's died off. If you ask me personally, I think it was kind of like more of a fad. And people just get excited about it.
All right.
Yeah.
But then the people who made money made quite a bit of it. So do you think in the future would we have something similar that would arise, similar to NFTs, that could again be an opportunity?
Sure. Yeah, I think this whole Web3 development is going to, like, it runs off blockchain technology.
Okay.
So okay, let's put it simple. Let's say you're walking in the park. You can earn money while you're walking in the park. So there are going to be like these apps or websites where you basically, through doing a specific activity, you're earning, like, it's kind of like Pokemon Go, but with,
damn.
like, making money. So there are many different types of it. It's
Can
really
we pause
interesting.
this? I'm just going to go for a quick walk, if
Sure.
you don't mind, right? Yeah, for sure. No, but like, actually, how does that exactly work? Because I have heard this term Web3. Could you
Does
just
that link
give
it
us
to
a brief?
Does that link it to gamification?
Yeah.
One sec before that. Can you go into like a little bit? What exactly is it? Like an introduction?
Yeah, so Web3 is this whole, like, how we've had like different types of coding concepts. This is like a whole nother level. It's using blockchain, and it basically tries to monetize everything. So
Whoa,
yeah,
okay.
so different companies are trying to like use different aspects and try to monetize it. So like if you could take a walk, as you said, like, and
Right,
make money.
yeah.
If you can work out and take money. If you learn and make money.
I still don't get how it would work though. Like, how would you actually be able to get money by just walking?
Okay, so basically it creates its own currency. So what it does is, like, in the app you'll make your own currency. Like, it's a crypto kind of style. So it's not like you're getting direct to like dollar or direct to baht, because
Right.
that won't work, right? No one's gonna give away free money. But
That's so cool. So like 1,000 steps would be worth a certain amount of money, and
Yeah.
then 10,000 would be worth 10 times that.
And
or
does that
something
also
that?
like help out like the fitness of the world, because now more people want to walk?
yeah, so
For sure,
that's
right,
the
good
whole
point.
point of gamification, right? It's to incentivize people. Like, why would people be incentivized to gym? Because, okay, like, they might want to get in, but like other people, they might say like, what's the point? But like, this is used as a like motivator. So it's really interesting because not all of it has played out yet. Let's see what the future holds. In 5 years, it might be the biggest thing ever. In 5 years, it might be gone to zero, gone to nothing.
Shambles.
Let's see.
But isn't that
Is it starting to rise? Because I mean, of course, we're talking about the benefits of it, right? But it could also be seen as incentivizing the wrong things, maybe a little bit.
and also
So
it
like,
can-
how is it controlled? Who is it controlled by?
and
It's
also
controlled by private firms. So basically, like,
okay.
private, like, fintech companies, like financial technology companies, are basically
Didn't-
they their own startups will like be like, okay, we're gonna create for this purpose.
But
One
then-
might be like lifestyle, one be like another thing. Yeah.
But then we sort of so are you trying to say, I know this may get a bit controversial, are you trying to say that private companies are good for the economy then? Because it's like, well, what we're trying to hinting at in this, I know that we kind of had this conversation before where we don't want you to controversial, and so we'll cut out parts that you don't think is useful, but are you trying to say that private companies have a higher benefit to the economy than, say, the government?
I would say we can, as a private companies, we can use our power.
Which is?
Basically, they can make the right or wrong decisions. And the point is, I mean, this is getting all into economics, but it allows, like, it's more about efficiency. It's more about making money. But I think what's going to happen from now on is that it's not just about making money, because you've seen like firms that only make money be like, okay, I am polluting the rivers and stuff. People like they get cancelled, right? Those
Right.
firms. So you need to have like a ESG kind of thing, like social cause, like CSR.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So you need to have like they firms now to be successful. Your businesses are going to need to have a social responsibility element, whether it's like taking control of like of the helping the environment, or it's like helping with financial
Okay, but
literacy.
I have a
some of the
question.
things, Yeah.
Isn't businesses known as corporate greed, and so what's to stop them from turning into an advantage? Because like in the end of the day, no matter how good of a person you are incentivized to make money. As we had in the other episode, money, you're incentivized to grow yourself. So, what's to say that these big companies will not use this to their advantage and find a loophole around it which benefits them and not the general people?
So that's an interesting question, right? Because if you look at today's age with social media as like the biggest power, it's been seen that so many firms they can't do this anymore. Like they can't. People will start boycotting,
Cancel culture.
So many of these things. It's not allowed. Like I mean, if you talk to me in 30 years ago, my answer would be so different. Be like, yes, they can. They can do whatever they want. They can take our information.
Even back in 2000, I don't know when did cancel culture become more relevant.
Yeah. So I think social media plays a big part, and I think it won't allow firms to have as much power. So if they're not doing what the people want them to do, then they're gonna get cancelled basically.
Damn. Okay.
So that's really good, because then the fear of incentivizing the wrong stuff, that sort of goes away, because we would probably act against that, and that I think that's really good, because people should have a say in the private firm things.
Okay. Now I think that moving on, I'm gonna switch up the order of the questions a bit. What I'm gonna go to sort of saving your money. Now I know this I might have brought this up a bit too early, but I think that this is very important. Now we have SCB, type on it. We have KBank. We have all of these apps that we use to handle our daily transaction. I don't even carry a wallet anymore because of how easy it is to use KBank. But now that we have these apps, how can we use those apps to save our money? Because as much as we're going to invest, as much as we're going to go into the blockchain, into the crypto, into all of those verses, how do we save the money? How do we get the money? Like what are you saying? That's saying it's harder to get from zero to one
from 1 to 100. Yeah.
But it's like to maintain that one, what do we do? So going back to my question and not sort of divulging into too much, how can we use apps like KBank, SCB, Bangkok Bank to save your money? And any tips on using those apps, like any tricks or how you save your money?
Right. And if I can just give a little bit of context on it, I read this really cool scientific study that said that because of these apps and because of cashless payments, people are spending more. Because when you open up your wallet and you give money, it's a tangible thing that you're handing to another person, like 1,000 baht for your song, right? However, if it's a cashless QR payment, you don't have that feeling that something is going away from you, and that's why we're spending more and more, and it's becoming easier to spend. So that's why it's so relevant.
For sure. I mean, it's very hard, right? Because if you just see that number, you actually don't realize how much it is.
Yeah, that number has no value.
It has no value. So, I mean, I played around with like all these like KBank and all. But right now they haven't started developing like actual like savings where they can actually like lock your amount. So what I would tell you like to do to use like KBank and all when you're trying to save money, or if you want to set aside something, just make sure. Okay, there's so many other fintech apps out there where you can download, like it just like helps you budget. I mean, I can give you an example like Money Saver. So it allows you to keep track. But I think the first thing before you talk about how to use apps to help is to mentally keep track of what you're expending. Look at that log of list, like what are you spending right now? Get a real idea of like how much is going out each month. Then once you've seen how much is going out each month, right? Then you can start to see how much I can save, how much room I can save. But right now I would say, if you can, try to save 50 to 70%.
Okay, so what's your rule?
I get including my allowance and like my other business stuff, I get an amount, right? And that 70% I set aside, I cannot spend. I don't allow myself to spend. It just sits in my KBank account. I mean, I have that kind of like willpower not to spend it. But if you're struggling with that, I would suggest maybe opening up another account and just putting that directly into there and not touching that money at all. So if you need to make another account and just put that money away, it kind of helps.
Sweet.
I think that's sort of amazing, because it's like in this day and age, money keeps on coming. And it's like we don't know where to stop. And then you look at the end of the year and like, I've spent so much money. And then you go back to it and you're like, okay, let me use this, let me use that. But it's like, when the account is there, when you have to make the money, it's so much easier to just scan it and just finish off the transaction. So these tips are really good. I think now, Art, you could sort of go into investments over time, and I think I would love to hear what your takes are, and Krish, your takes are on investments over time. So Art, take me with it.
Right, no, 100%, because we did discuss things like NFTs and crypto and stuff like that. But then now, for a lot of people, gold is becoming outdated. There have been statistics and stuff shown that, if you're a young person, would you rather prefer a gold ring or the latest iPhone and stuff? And people often go for the latest iPhone. So there are some things that are becoming less and less fashionable. So how do you think that would work in the context of, investments? How would investments change?
Sure. So I think this is a really cool idea because my favorite investment personally is gold. So I mean, ever since 7, 8, I whatever I save, birthday money, whatever, I'll be like, okay, I want to buy gold. I mean, with the guidance of my parents, of course. And I've been trying to buy gold, actual physical gold, in the Thai wing amount, the 1 baht, whatever.
Okay.
I really like that because you know what, gold stays stable throughout, and it actually holds value. It's not like money where it's just paper. And at the end of the day, it's just paper, right? What happens if there's economic collapse? So gold, as you said, it's getting outdated. But what is happening is the rise of digital gold. So I'm not sure if you heard.
Okay, go into it.
So digital gold is basically so many fintechs, which is a really cool industry to be in right now. It's they allow you to be okay, even if you have, let's say, 10 baht, you can buy gold. So you don't have to go to the shop and go say, I have 10 baht. You can't get anything for that.
Of course.
You get dust?
Yeah, legit dust. Yeah.
So what they do is basically you can invest in these apps like Baotang is a good example by Krung Thai.
Okay.
So what they allow you to do is basically you open a gold wallet and you basically it's like buying stock but online. But what the companies legally require to have is that they have to have that gold in their storage.
So they have to have it physically, but then you're just taking a share of that. Okay.
Yeah, so you're basically just taking a share of that. And you don't have to go be worried about putting it in the safe and all. So I think that it kind of brings the trend of gold back because people even with 100 baht you can buy gold. So it makes it so much easier than going to get gold.
Investing in the end of the day, as much as okay, fine, normal conversation, guy talks to guy B, guy, I want to invest, guy B, okay, go invest, but guy's like, oh, I only have 200 300 to invest. But this is no matter how less money you have, you could still invest that, still put it in. And so it's there's no excuses now. It's not I need, because back in the day you need I think I'm gonna sneeze.
Back in the day, I think I'm gonna sneeze.
I don't think we should cut that out. Okay.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that back in the day, you need 10,000 or something to start up investing and get into it. But now with apps like these, anybody can start. And I think that's sort of a lesson.
I completely agree with you, Soham, because this was really interesting that one of my teachers was telling me, which was there's this app which how often when we buy things, it's not in rounded figures. Right? It's 180, 188, whatever. So imagine you go up, you pay for something that's 180 baht. The remaining 20 baht, which is nearest to the rounded 200, it invests it for you.
Yes.
And it's called micro-investing. It's
very
a new
powerful
thing, right? Very powerful.
Because, I mean, it rounds it up for you, right? And what you don't realize is that 20 baht, it's going to turn into 2,000, into 10,000. So, I mean, it's very useful. These tools are going to actually be so useful. All these new fintech startups that are coming up, there's so many new things. One of the most interesting things I've heard that is coming is micro real estate.
Now what does that go into?
So micro real estate.
So so they're microfying everything, right?
Of course, it's fashionable now.
Yeah, but it allows the masses to invest. So let's say to buy a condo, buy a flat to rent out. So you need a certain amount of capital, right? So it costs more. So what micro real estate does is basically the similar concept to gold. You buy a share in a certain property.
Wowzy. So it's you can only get the bed in a condo or something like that.
You get certain square footage or something. It's very, very interesting. Let's see how it plays out because it's just starting to come out. I mean, I don't think there's any app yet that you can actually invest in micro real estate, but it's coming up. I think it's gonna be super powerful.
To join this wave of investing of like all this futuristic stuff, what is one thing I can do right now? What do you suggest me to do right now?
Okay,
Like, go to a bank,
that's our key point question. Go
open up
into it.
a Demat account, go to a bank, open up a Demat account, or what is it?
What
What do you
is it? Just
suggest me to
step
do
one.
right now?
Right now, start building those savings. Like, I keep on building. I mean, that's what you have to do on the side. Just keep on building up that, because when you have a certain amount of money, right, you want to invest it. Yeah. So that's one point. But another point is like, okay, what you should start doing before you invest. This is a mistake I made, right?
Oh, okay, nice.
So like what I should have done is that basically I should have played around with stock simulators. I know it sounds boring. And you think like I want to get into it, but you don't want to make the same mistake I made, like with losing that much money, right?
We went this so many times.
Yeah. So I mean, stock simulators are very useful because it allows you to see how it works and all. It gives you taste. Once you feel more confident, get into it, because there's so many stock simulator apps, like Investopedia is good.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So
Yeah.
it's right there online and
And just play it for fun, right? Because there's no risk right now. Just get used to it, and then after that, then maybe start considering actually having a portfolio. And also, mutual funds are quite a good tool, because if you don't know how to invest, investing in mutual funds, basically a mutual fund is they invest it for you. You give them money, they buy a certain amount of okay, let's say they'll buy Apple, they'll buy this. They'll basically manage your money for you.
Of course.
Yeah.
So like portfolio managers for you.
Yeah.
Right? This is actually quite interesting because I was about to ask you this question about these funds. So we've touched upon mutual funds. Do you know what hedge funds are? And can you talk a little bit about hedge funds?
Yeah, what are they?
So hedge funds are basically a similar idea is basically like Wall Street, right? Like they all
we always hear the word, I want to run a hedge fund. I want to start a hedge fund.
Yeah, so
But
basically a hedge fund is like similar to a mutual fund, but they also manage portfolio for you. It's kind of like synonymous, the terms.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But
I think we're sort of gonna end off with this one last question, which is one financial literate thing that you should do. You have your super satang, you have your financial literacy. What's one thing that everybody in the world is doing wrong right now, and you think that they should stop or they should start? And tell me.
no pressure. What's the one thing everyone is doing wrong
Look
right
at you.
now?
You're doing that wrong.
Okay, so as we talk about mindset, you just have to change your mindset. That's the like before you start anything, you have to change your mindset.
Awesome.
But I also believe in the power of like knowing how to spend correctly and knowing how to get the most yield out of your spending. So what I go through if I want to buy something, right? I'll be like, okay, I'll take three days. Like from the moment I know I want to buy this, like let's say I want to buy this speaker, JBL speaker or something. I'll say, okay, from that day I'll take 3 days, and then on the third day I'll ask myself, do I need that as much? Do I actually want it as that much? If the answer is yes, I'll buy it.
That's so lovely, dude. Yeah, please go on.
The next part of it is really where it gets cool. So what after that you have to think about yield. How can you yield as much as it from the things you have right now?
What does that mean?
So yield, okay, let's say you have a laptop, right? Let's say you want to use it as good as you can. So
as efficiently as possible.
So what you could do, let's say you have a laptop. What does that allow you to do? Maybe start an online website and start making money online.
Take courses, educate yourself.
Take courses, like you could be educational yield, money yield, happiness yield.
Sure,
whatever.
there's thousands of possibilities.
Yeah. So just try to think of what you can do to get the most out of it you can get. Like if you want to use your PS5 to start streaming or whatever, try to think about new and creative ways of making money with whatever you have already.
Sweet. So are you also implying that so that JBL speaker, after the 3 days you thought of the yield and what it could yield you, and if the yield was like purely entertainment or nothing productive, did you not choose to buy it?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the main reasons, right, was that you could use it to help you study. I mean, that is also a part of yield.
Oh yeah, right.
Like how it can help better yourself, like improve yourself.
Could mental health also be a yield? Like sort of when you have.
I think definitely mental
like
health.
Like suppose music on my phone sounds way different to music on my speaker. No matter how, like even if the volume is the same, the audio quality is so much better. So sometimes it just makes you feel better. You have that speaker that you can listen to all of your music in, go out to parties in.
Yeah. I think it has to be kind of like justifiable. But like if you have the reason, yeah, go for it. And just one last point I want to touch upon is that it's nothing. It's everything's not about money. I mean, in the past 2 episodes, we're talking about money a lot.
Money.
Yeah, money. But it's also important to enjoy yourself, spend a little bit on yourself, but just in moderation. As we always said. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a lovely note to end it on, man.
I think spending it on yourself sort of links up to our end. Now, guys, we are Thirsty Tales Podcast. We want to educate you guys. So, what we want you guys to do is spend some money on yourself. By doing this, I mean that watch this podcast, learn about new skills, and take advice from people like Krish, Super Satang. And with this, I'd like to thank everybody. And with that, I'd like to say thank you, Krish, for your time. And that, Thirsty Tales will be back with more episodes. We love all of our fans and we hope we're doing good.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.